हमारे में एक ऐसा लड़का आता है क्या? कोई लड़का भाई छुट्टी पड़ी तब मैं चूतिया से लड़का शोर मत करो ऐसे करके कोई तो 8 साल में छोटा 4 साल नहीं एलएलएम वाले सेकंड मीट में
Good evening to all. Please note the general instructions for FTP. Ensure a stable internet connection to avoid disruptions during the sessions. Mute your microphone during the sessions unless requested to unmute. Actively participate in discussions and ask questions through the chat or during designated Q&A sessions. Keep a note handy to note down important points for the evaluation test. The feedback link for each session will be shared in the WebEx chat box immediately after the respective session concludes. Please ensure you fill out the feedback form before leaving the platform, as attendance will be recorded based on the submitted feedback. Please adhere to these instructions to ensure a smooth and productive FTP experience. So, shall we start today's session?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So good evening, all participants. Welcome to the 4th day of our faculty development program on exploring the role of artificial intelligence in the evolving media landscape and rural entrepreneurship. It has been an incredible journey so far, as we have explored the transformative role of artificial intelligence in various fields. Each session has provided valuable insights, and today promises to be just as enriching. Now, without further delay, let's begin the first session of today's program. We encourage all of you to actively participate, engage with the speakers, and make the most of this opportunity. Thank you once again for joining, and we look forward to a productive and informative session. Now, I would like to introduce our resource person. As we are moving to the 7th session of our FTP on rural entrepreneurship by Dr. Partha Pratim Sahu, Associate Professor, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, Hyderabad. Dr. Partha is an associate professor with the Center for Entrepreneurship Development and Financial Inclusion and Center for Good Governance and Policy Analysis, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, Hyderabad. He was a visiting fellow at Korea Institute for International Economy Policy, South Korea. He has about 19 years of experience in research, teaching, and training. His research interests include issues related to labor and employment, skill development, enterprise and entrepreneurship development, financial inclusion, enterprise financing, etc. He has been associated with a number of research studies sponsored by international and national agencies. He was a member of the 3rd and 4th Common Review Mission of Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. Currently, he is a member of the Editorial Advisory Board of Journal of Rural Development, published by National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj. I invite Dr. Partha Pratim Sahu for his session on rural entrepreneurship. Welcome, sir, to the session.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me share my PPT. And during the session, I will switch off the video for better internet connection. And when we will have Q&A, I will switch on the video. So let me share the PPT that I have prepared. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
It's visible.
Okay, thank you very much. And I am thankful to Union Christian College, ALUA, Kerala. And I'm also thankful to Dr. S.K. George, the coordinator of this program, and his whole team. And seen the program, there are many sessions on artificial intelligence. And here I am going to focus more on rural enterprise development and very little on artificial intelligence. But the participant will get lot of overlapping, lot of issues where they can connect from the input inside that they have received from the earlier session. So, and all of us may be aware by now that how AI is related to, or AI can make a difference in our life, in all walks of our life. So there is good use of AI, bad use of AI. There is a lot of potential that AI, machine learning, and IT tools and all that. But I will take you through very simple, basic, what is happening in rural areas. And we are talking so much about startup, rural enterprise. There are so many schemes and programs. Can AI make a difference in rural area? Has it started doing something on rural enterprise? And all these questions I will try to flag before you, and on which we can also discuss toward the end. And maybe in the next 50-60 minutes that I have, I would like to throw some light on these questions. If I were a participant like you, sitting somewhere and sitting with a computer, joined, logged in from different parts of the country, including Kerala, and these are the questions I would have in my mind. Suppose I want to be an entrepreneur. I am from rural area, I am from a village, and suppose I aspire to be an entrepreneur. I want to start some enterprise, some business, or I want to support existing or aspiring rural entrepreneur. Many of you might have visited villages, rural India. There are so many enterprises. You can see enterprises operating inside the household premises, small factories, small bakery units, dairy units. People are selling milk. There are barber, there are small nursing home, and all these are enterprises in the manufacturing, in the services sector. Maybe some of you will get a chance, or now maybe you are part of some schemes and programs on entrepreneurship development. We have so many schemes and programs, and many teachers may be sitting here participating in this program. So suppose I am a teacher, I want to encourage some of my students to think of to venture into entrepreneurship, because now everywhere we are having this narrative. We don't want job seeker, we want job creator or job generator. But let me tell you right from the beginning, like AI, machine learning, Java, this, that, language, coding, and all that, there is no algorithm to promote enterprise development, especially in rural area. Enterprise development in rural area is a complex issue, is very challenging, but doable, because we have schemes and programs, we have an enabling environment. Maybe it is not inclusive. People from disadvantageous social group like scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or the likelihood of a women to start a business, maybe they may be struggling. But there are opportunities. The more we know our surrounding, our areas, where we can sell, what we can produce, how much we can produce, what quality it should be, can I do the packaging little bit different from others? All these questions are very important. And also I would like to tell that all this artificial intelligence, machine learning, ICT are just tools which can facilitate. This is necessary but may not be sufficient for inclusive and sustainable rural enterprise. The word inclusive you have to, I want to emphasize, because the likelihood of a woman, the likelihood of a youth, the likelihood of uneducated youth to think of, to try for an enterprise, all should get opportunities. But the real question is, are they getting this opportunity or not, so far as the enterprise development or business is concerned? Rural India, many of you might have seen villages and all, may have visited or maybe from the villages. Villages are changing. The villages that we had 20 years back are a different set of villages. The villages now we are having are look very different. They are villages in statistical terms, but you can see many urban features, urban characteristics. And agriculture, which was synonymous with rural India, is now a minor activity. You go to any villages and see the income portfolio, non-farm activity are contributing a larger share to the total income of that village. A lot of manufacturing, lot of services activities are contributing to the rural income. There are issues or unemployment, poverty, inequality in rural area as compared to urban area. We can debate on that, whether it is increasing, decreasing, what kind of poverty we have. There is a lot of literature we have seen now on new poor. Who are the new poor? Because of this COVID pandemic, new poor has also emerged in rural area. Had there been no COVID, these families would have above the poverty line. But because of COVID pandemic and the prolonged lockdown, there are many families who were above the poverty line. They have fallen below the poverty line. So a lot of UN, IMF, World Bank report, you will see, if you will Google, you will find a lot of literature on this emergence of new poor. And why am I saying so? We have now double burden. We have existing poor for whom we were concerned about. Now we also have to concerned about the new poor. So we have to redesign our scheme or design some new scheme for them, connect them with schemes and programs including jobs, employment, Mahatma Gandhi NREGA, or some self-employment or business activity. So the problem has extrapolated because of this COVID pandemic. So that is the main point I'm trying to highlight. And in rural area also there are enterprises and government policies. In government document, if you will see, there are so many schemes and programs, like, as if there is no enterprises in the rural area, but there are enterprises, there are handicraft, there are traditional industry group. So we need to work with everybody. We should not focus disproportionately on creating new enterprises, but we also have to work with existing entrepreneur, traditional craft people, and all that. Water, sanitation, vast activity. We have Swachh Bharat Mission, we have Har Ghar Jal, etc., etc. But still, statistical number from the government report may give you a different story, but I would request all of you to go around and see what kind of services, not only quantitatively but also qualitatively. Har ghar jal, but are we getting safe drinking water? If we are getting safe drinking water, how much? What kind of roads we have? And most important problem that we have now is that 27% of rural population is in the age cohort of 14 to 29, youth. And they need everything. They need education, they need training, vocational education, they need job, they need skilling, they also need entrepreneurial ventures and all that. Then in rural area, there is a large literature of declining female labor force participation rate, but of late there has been little bit improvement that they have. They are getting opportunities to get into labor market, to get a new job and all that. But lot of out of pocket expenditure has also increased, and not many of us are looking at that. So people are earning, maybe yes, but how much they are earning and how much they are spending out of pocket on health education, because a lot of private sector penetration has happened during last 10-20 years in health and education. Infrastructure is an issue. Institutions are there, like in villages. If you want to start enterprise, you have to interact with local institutions like self-help group, like gram panchayat, many of you must be aware about. And because of this COVID pandemic, we also see learning loss. Many of you must have experienced the online education that we had during COVID pandemic time. Had there been no online education, no COVID, our learning might have little bit better that now we have. So because of that also, so these are a broad set of issues which people are talking about when we talk about villages, when we talk about rural India, and all these are directly or indirectly related to the main subject that we are going to spend time on, that is rural enterprise development. And if you do not have good infrastructure, even if you are producing good product, nobody will go there and buy. Even if your packaging is very good, imagine you are not able to connect to a market because of bad road or because of no logistic, no transport and all that. So even if good quality enterprises, entrepreneur are there in rural area, do we have a ecosystem? Do we have a enabling environment which will promote them to scale up, which will promote them to operate sustainably? So all these questions are very important. But at the same time, 10 years back, 20 years back, to start an enterprise was little bit difficult. But now a lot of things have happened since last 10-15 years in the IT field, in the digitization, in schemes and programs. A lot of new schemes and programs have come to promote startup. Now we have Startup India, Stand Up India, Skill India, and many of you must be reading in newspaper, watching in TV news how a lot of focus, a lot of emphasis has been put on entrepreneurship. And partly because we are not able to create enough employment opportunities, we always believe that if we grow faster, we will also generate so many employment, so many jobs and all. But many of you will agree with me that we have a jobless growth or job loss growth. And this jobless and job loss growth has different narratives. Capital intensive production, lot of capital we are using, labor displacing capital, labor regulations, lot of things we are importing like that. So there are lot of literature on this, why we are not able to create enough employment opportunities, which is not matching with the number of person who are getting into labor market every year. So there is always a deficit. Lot of startup policy, every state has a startup policy. Startup India is there, but you look at every state, either you will get an MSME policy or startup policy, every state government. So every state is also now trying to attract private investment, trying to promote entrepreneurship either by scheme or without scheme. So there is a new, you can say, a kind of revolution with the support of state, with the support of private sector. All these are going on to promote entrepreneurship both in rural and urban area. How far we have succeeded, we can debate that. how many good quality enterprises we have been able to create, we can debate on that. We also talk about ease of doing business. So you must be aware that there was a time, if you want to start an enterprise, you might have to visit 10 different offices, 10 different papers, 10 different compliances, like that. But a lot of us are now also talking about ease of doing business, and a lot of AI use is there. There is huge potential of AI use in this ease of doing business, if and only if we have good quality data and evidences. Lot of IT revolution has come. You look at small tea shop vendor or a lady selling vegetable in the roadside. They are all using GPay, Paytm, and all that. So IT-enabled portals have come. Now, if you have a problem of delayed payment, suppose you are running a business and you have sold something to a XYZ and XYZ is not paying, there is a IT-enabled portal to lodge your complaint or put your grievances. So like that is called MSME Samadhan. So over the years, we have also seen so many IT-enabled portals or platforms are now coming. You want to start an enterprise, there is a portal called MSME Sampark, where you can put your idea and they will help you to start enterprise, like that. Lot of formalization is happening. What is formalization? Lot of so many formal institutions like banks, cooperatives, MFIs have also come up. They have different type of financial product. They're angel investors, venture capital. Tata has invested on so many startup. Many of you must be watching Shark Tank, where 4 or 5 big businessmen, businesswomen are there, and they're listening to this business. They're pitching idea. Many young entrepreneurs are pitching their idea, and based on their idea, they are investing lakhs of rupees on that. This was not there 5-7 years back. So a lot of unicorn. So there are financial opportunities, there are schemes and programs. We are also talking about ease of doing business. We are trying to simplify rules and regulations. So parallelly, a lot of things are happening. Incubation and mentoring supports is very important for inclusive and sustainable rural enterprise development. So now you will see in many engineering colleges, IITs in Telangana, in Hyderabad, we have T Hub. In many agricultural university, you have now incubation centers and all that, with the support of government, with the support of NABARD and all that. In IIT Madras, Chennai, we have IIT Chennai Research Park, where young people are going with a business idea and they are getting all kinds of support. And for to start an enterprise, to run it successfully, to take it for a longer time, 5 years, 10 years, you need a bouquet of support services. But unfortunately, there are multiple agencies, multiple departments who are now providing this support. There is no one-stop facility center or single window where you will get finance, you will get training, you will get incubation support, you will get marketing support, and like that. So because of that also, we are not able to succeed to the extent that we should succeed, because of so many schemes and programs and so many new financial products, ease of doing business, and the aggressive thrust on enterprise development, both in rural and urban area. But at the same time, there is a lot of discussion around the globe is also going on this subject called green MSME, green enterprise. Are we developing that kind of enterprise which are going to cause harm to the climate, causing harm to the biodiversity? So this discussion is also going on. So in rural area, whenever we are promoting, starting new enterprises or scaling up, we have to be very responsible and see what are its side effects on climate change and biodiversity. We cannot ignore at all. So that is also important. But the question that I will focus or spend time is on one issue that is called scale up and sustainability. Don't think that enterprises are not being started. There are schemes. There are people who, without even scheme, they are starting enterprises. But the real question is how many of them are traveling, how many of them are moving on a scale up ladder from nano to micro, micro to small, and small to medium? How many of them are sustainable? How many of them are profitable? How much they are producing? If you are running a bakery unit in a inside village and your bakery product is bread, cake, something, some cookies, and the total volume of production is 5 kilo, nobody will go and buy that. So what is the scale? Is it commercially viable? So many units are in the rural area, you will see they are not making profit. They are operating at subsistence level, hand to mouth. So we want to see enterprises which should travel on a growth path, which should start a journey on scale ladder. So over the years, this nano micro unit should grow, and over the years, it should also create some employment opportunities, because in rural area, employment opportunities is a huge problem. And if it is commercially viable, at what scale? So how much? What is the scale of production? So in rural area, many small micro nano units you will find, but their scale is not so desirable or profitable. And what is the power of that enterprise? We count enterprise. In my village, there are 10 enterprises. In my village, there are 15 enterprises. But let me tell you, behind every enterprise, there is one family or more than one family. So, are we creating a powerful enterprise which will support not only one family or two, three workers who are working in that enterprise and family of that worker also? So, it is the power of that enterprise is very important. That's why this question is very important. Can commercial viability of these enterprises can be translated into regular and remunerative income? And there are many enterprises in rural area which do not operate year round or perennially. There are many seasonal enterprises. There are many small enterprises you will see, they will only operate during some festival. Somebody is selling flowers, somebody is selling coconut, somebody is selling incense stick for festival period, and they are doing something else in other period. So you have to take all these issues, the kind of changes we have seen in rural area, market, infrastructure, connectivity, the use of digital tools, all these are part of the story, and we have to look at holistically what all we can do with the help of AI, machine learning and all, and what all is not possible in rural area, even with AI and all that. This picture, this whatever you can see now on the computer screen is very important, and this is the journey. You are all aware how a business starts or how a existing business plans to scale up, expand, grow. For all this you need lot of strategies, lot of business plan, lot of marketing plan and all that. So are we putting our youth entrepreneur or rural woman on this path? Is he able to pass through all these journeys, pass through all these phases? So there is a ideation phase where you need a business idea. Lot of rural people, youth may have business idea, but they do not know how to pack it is a business idea. They are not able to pitch, create a business idea. Maybe they have a business idea, but they are not able to convert it. They have an idea, but they are not able to convert it as a business idea. So we also need to help them. In Telangana, there is a organization who have placed one young professional in every district only to scout business idea. So they are going around in rural area and finding out who are doing what, who has the potential to start a new enterprise, and helping them connect them with the necessary schemes and program. It is not at all true that they do not have idea. In rural area also they have business idea, but they are not able to pack, they are not able to present in the right platform, they are unable to connect with the right scheme and and all that. Many of them, even without scheme, they are doing, but they are failing to market their product because of variety of reasons. Maybe they do not know where is the market, because in a small village in Bihar, you must have read in the newspaper that in Bihar there is a company manufacturing shoes, and that shoes are now used by the soldier who are fighting Russia and Ukraine war. So there is a market there for that shoes. Many people may not be aware about that. So we need to help them to identify market, how to connect with different market, how to expand the horizon of market. Maybe they are only selling in the villages, but that product might have some demand outside the district, outside the state, and all that. So that kind of challenges, lack of capability and resources, lack of entrepreneurship training, are few of the possible reasons because this idea is not converting into a business. Lot of people are there in rural area. All of us are first now trying for a job. So, and if when we do not get a job, then only we are going into looking for schemes and programs, PM Mudra or something, going to bank, ask for some loan with the business proposal and all. So a lot of business mindset, entrepreneurial mindset need to be infused right from the beginning. So entrepreneurship education is also very important. You go to a European country where in the primary school, in the high school, in the curriculum, you will find lot related to entrepreneurship and all that, which is slowly happening in India. For example, in Delhi public school, now they have included a curriculum called EMC, Entrepreneurship Mindset Curriculum, where they are teaching how to create a business plan. If some business plan is good, they are also helping that school children to with finance and all that. Lot of things are happening. And when you know these problems, when we start thinking to start thinking of some business or enterprise, small, medium, large, doesn't matter, lack of mentoring, lack of handholding, finance, often we say is the big problem, but I would say marketing is a big problem in rural area. Lot of enterprises are there, they are doing something, but they are not able to sell their product in the right place at right prices and incurring losses, closing down and like that. But on this picture, I have highlighted on a red arrow that is called scale up and expansion plan. So I want to see this rural, micro, small who have started or who want to start. They should be on a growth path. They should have a scale up ladder where from nano to micro, micro to small, small to medium. If that is happening, you will see a lot of changes in the rural area. And if we are only adding small micro enterprises, they are running unsustainably. Many of them are closing down, few of them are struggling, not making profit. That is not the narrative that we want, and that is not the narrative that government is also aspiring for. Formulating schemes and programs and all that. As I started by saying that you need an enabling environment. An enabling environment or ecosystem is very important, and that is more important for rural area because rural area also witness locational disadvantage in terms of infrastructure deficit, in terms of HR, in terms of human resource development, like that. So there are opportunities, but those opportunity to be converted into a successful business, we need a robust ecosystem. And when I say ecosystem, there are different components of it: entrepreneurship promotion, training or skilling. We are large skilling programs, DDUGKY, so many state skilling programs are there, and we are pushing them to look for a job. There are not many skilling programs where we want them to start an enterprise. So wage paid job, we are creating job seekers from this skilling program and all that. Access to finance, access to EG, affordable, and we need customized financial product. Small enterprise need small amount of loan at regular interval to meet their working capital need. They need loan to pay their electricity bill. They need loan to pay their workers, like that. But we do not have that kind of customized, tailor-made financial product from formal financial institution. I am going to a bank asking for 50,000, but bank is ready to give me 5 lakh instead of 50,000. So there, that kind of huge mismatch is also there. The kind of financial product financial institutions are offering and the kind of demand we have from the rural entrepreneur. Marketing is one of the important component of this ecosystem. Access to local market, access to domestic market, access to regional market, access to national market, and also access to global market. So you will be surprised to know that there are so many small micro enterprises whose products are being exported through export council or through middlemen or middlewomen or what. So many handicrafts products are being exported. But are they getting the profit, or the middlemen, middlewomen, or the traders are taking away that, siphoning off that surplus? That is the question we need to ask ourselves. Mentoring and handholding and networking, access to professional. So if there is a big company in that area, that big company can also play a role of mentor to the many 10, 15 small entrepreneurs. So they can provide mentoring, handholding, some advisory, some counseling under their CSR activity or just like that. So there are big car companies, Maruti, Hero Honda, Mahindra, and all that. They all procure their parts. All the auto parts are manufactured by MSME unit. So, and they get lot of technical advisories, drawing of product, quality control, standardization, everything. These kind of supports are provided by big companies in some of the cases. Business support services. So all these elements are important and very much important, even more as compared to urban area. Urban area is little bit in an advantageous position as compared to rural area is there. So in this ecosystem, the artificial intelligence can play a very big role in all these 6 critical components if and only if we have good quality data. If we have good quality data about how many enterprises are there, how are they doing, who are they, what kind of technology they are using, like that. So even if I write something on some query on chat GPT, so we are getting some advisories, some answers, some responses and all that. But has it reached to rural area? Are our rural potential and aspiring and existing entrepreneur are aware of this new technology called AI, ML? Do they know how this can help to their business and all that? All these questions are very important. There is no dearth of schemes and programs. In villages you go, you will find both enterprises which are supported by scheme. You will also see many enterprises who have not got any support from any scheme. And surprisingly, the non-scheme fellow is doing better than the scheme fellow because of ownership, because of responsibility, because of owning that enterprise and all that. So there are issues so far as the scheme programs are concerned. We have 70 schemes and programs of Government of India. We have 433 odd schemes and programs if you will count all state government. In Kerala, one family, one entrepreneur. In Andhra Pradesh, one family, one entrepreneur. Like that, so many schemes and programs you will find even from the state. So there, I would say there is no dearth of schemes and programs, even if in the enterprise promotion. All these 70 and these 400 are all related to enterprise promotion. I'm not talking about health education. There are schemes and programs, health, education, etc., etc. But schemes has a set of problem. I will not spend time on this. Many of you must be aware that how people in rural area are not aware about schemes and programs. And even if they are aware, they are not able to access. Where is the office where I will go this scheme? Where this PM Mudra is, and what is the process? What documents I need? There are no detailed information. Many of these schemes and programs are not available in regional languages. Many of these schemes programs have guidelines with different perspective. Government officer read the guideline differently. The beneficiary read the guideline differently and all. So many IT-enabled portals are now there. Web pages are there where you can access directly to the scheme. For example, Government of India has now started a portal called Jan Samarth. In Jan Samarth portal, a beneficiary can try himself or herself whether he or she is eligible for that schemes and programs or not. Now, as of now, as many as 14, 15 schemes have been onboarded on that Jan Samarth portal. So even if that IT-enabled portals are there, but the question is, are rural people are aware about that portal? Are they skilled, educated enough to get into that portal to get benefit from that schemes and programs? Are all these questions, even if we have made significant progress on IT revolution, AI, machine learnings and all that, but you go to any villages, any part of the country, You will find people who has a business idea but are not aware about scheme, who has got a scheme but are not part of that ecosystem. He or she is not getting the bouquet of services which is needed to start to scale up that business and all that. Then on the top of that, on many schemes and programs, there is no TAT. TAT means turnaround time. What is turnaround time? If I am applying today for a scheme, after how many days I should get? That should be a turnaround time for every scheme. After 7 days, you should get this. If you are not getting this scheme, there should be some GRM, grievance redressal mechanism. So in many schemes and programs, we don't have this. There is no SOP. There is no grievance redressal mechanism and all that. So on the one hand, we are saying we have large number of schemes and programs, but there are questions, there are issues how these schemes and programs are being implemented, whether it is reaching to the needy people, who is the right beneficiary or not. All these questions are there. And this question to a large extent can be addressed with the use of AI and ML if and only if we use AI responsibly and we have all raw material like data, evidences and all that. There are two kind of enterprises. One, there are families who have doing business from generation, so they are little bit better off. So if I am from a business family, so I will have some business idea, so I will be a little bit better than the first generation entrepreneur. So we have seen a lot of first generation entrepreneur in last 10 years because of schemes and programs and because of the kind of encouragement or whatever different aggressively promoting schemes and programs, and because of that. But even the first generation entrepreneur are also facing problem in all those areas. Having a good idea, having the capacity to convert that idea into a sustainable business, incubation support, there is no personalized advisory. So I need marketing support at a time I'm not getting. So in enterprise, you need a bouquet of services and in a sequential manner. If you are giving me entrepreneurship training today and finance after 2 years, marketing support after 3 years, then I can't have a sustainable enterprise. So response time is also important. Providing all these services on a single platform is also important. So that is not happening, but slowly. So there is financial ecosystem, as I told you, customized need-based finance. I need 10,000 rupee to do some small working capital need, but I am not getting. Financial linkages, mentoring and handholding. There is a committee by Reserve Bank of India who have recommended that all these public sector banks are supposed to provide mentoring, help aspiring entrepreneur to write a business plan. But how many banks are doing that? That recommendation is just a recommendation on paper. And in the first generation aspiring entrepreneur, be it youth or female, many of us, the rural women, rural youth, they are not so educated. So the bookkeeping is not, accounting skill is important. All these skill set are to be provided while we are designing entrepreneurship development program. So in colleges, in universities, they have started entrepreneurship cell. So all these are to be taught. Little bit of calculation, little bit of Excel, little bit of how to do social media like Facebook and all that. All this. So there is a need for communication skill, business skill, and all that. In rural area, many of you will agree with me, when we see a successful businessman or business women, we also start the same business. So that is called herd mentality. Somebody is doing well in a grocery shop, the next neighbor is also starting a grocery shop. So, but we should ask this question: how many grocery shop will run in a village with a population of 1,000 or 1,500? Maybe 5, 6. So we should not add grocery shop. We should think about some new business for which there will be demand. If many of women, we are pushing SHG women to manufacture papad, achar, pickle and all that. But how many papad, achar you can sell in the local market? So even if you are making papad, do some millet papad. Do some different papad which you have to create a market or capture existing market. There is no third option. The market is very limited and market can be expanded, But we need to do market research. We have to find out where are the other marketing locations. Is there a market outside the district, outside the state? Somebody has to do that. Lack of peer learning. So there are successful entrepreneur in rural area, there are failure. So there should be some peer learning. Lack of handholding is the most important, which is completely missing in our entrepreneurial ecosystem. We do not have any agencies, department who will provide long-term continuous handholding and mentoring. I am designing a good product. I need small packaging advisory, but I am not getting at right time because I do not know where is this Indian Institute of Packaging or where is the National Institute of Design. Can they help me? There is a KBK near to me. Can they help me? That questions are also there. So we have agencies, we have departments who are responsible to provide this kind of support. How much they are providing and what kind of quality support they are provide, we can debate on that is the real question. So we have schemes and programs, we have institutions, we have banks, we have cooperatives, but we are not able to give a customized need based financial product. So like that there are question, there are issues. And in rural area there are many enterprises you will see which have got some support from one or the other schemes. But these questions are very important. The scheme, the fellow that scheme has got, does he or does she have some entrepreneurial mindset? Or he didn't get anything else and he has come to this scheme. So that is the biggest challenge. So there is always a mismatch between identifying the right person, whether that person has enthusiasm to start a business or not. He or she has got some entrepreneurial mindset or not, which is not happening. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry is taking some scheme, and some of them are doing well, some of them are not doing well. We also need to help them to prepare a good business plan. They must have some idea, but they need some mentoring, some advisory to convert into a business idea. And that's what lot of this big business, corporate sector can also do, and they are doing. Like in Shark Tank, there are big business tycoon who are providing not only financial services but also non-financial technical services like mentoring and handholding, helping them to market, helping them to do quality improvement, helping them to customize products and lot. All these are very important. Are we giving same kind of support to rural, nano, micro, small entrepreneur? Are we helping them to grow? Are we helping them to expand their market? Is the real question. Lot of scheme-induced, scheme-led enterprises we are not able to monitor. So once we give the scheme, we are forgetting whether that fellow is doing well, not well, and all. Training and capacity. So many training institutions are there which are providing training and capacity to promote enterprise. Large number of institutions. My institute and National Institute of Rural Development also run so many training program on entrepreneurship, livelihood, and all that. The biggest two worries that I have, which I had highlighted before also, is one, scale up and expansion plan, and the second was is marketing. These two are very important. Can AI do something? You will find lot of intersection meeting point between the issues or concerns that highlighted just a half an hour before and what AI can do. And I told you we are not able to identify a right beneficiary for a particular scheme. AI can help us to identify a beneficiary. AI can help us to identify whether that person has entrepreneurial mindset or not. AI can provide so many advisories, and they are doing. In agriculture, there are tools, sensor-based tools, and all that. There are companies like Syngenta who are working with farmer and providing mentoring and handholding. AI can also help us to design something to monitor these enterprises. Which enterprises is doing well, which enterprises business health is poor, who is struggling for market, who is struggling for finance, like that. AI can also contribute to the risk management. I talked about climate and biodiversity. AI can also play a role in monitoring for accountability, governance. AI can also help us to find newer market. AI can also help us to do a market research, demand forecasting, quality. And in the past 3 days, you have had so many sessions on AI. I am very well sure that you can connect the kind of issues that we are discussing now and what AI can do or what AI has the potential to address. So AI, ML, and all these are important, subject to availability of good quality data. A lot of customized solution we can expect from AI and machine learning. But at the same time, we should ask this question: to what extent this AI has penetrated in rural areas, or it is still a urban concept and in higher industry, it is accessible to big industry, big factories, and all that. Each rural India is ready to accept. Do we have fund to access this AI? Do we have the skill set? Do we have the trust, willingness, readiness? All these questions are important. So AI can go there inside the rural area, and so we need to create successful model, good practice to showcase. Then only people will come forward to access, to use AI and believe on that. Curated training module can also be provided. Virtual training programs can be conducted with the help of AI, but we need data, we need digitization, and we also need identification of problem area which we want to solve through AI and ML. So I would like to see this AI ML that we are talking about. That kind of intervention can AI do, which will benefit a large sections of community, or benefit the poorest of the poor, benefit the small entrepreneur who are operating in the bottom of the pyramid. So we need that kind of AI solution, customized solution, which will benefit for the better cause of society. But AI is doing a lot of good things for higher end people, high income class people, and all that. We have seen that. But to what extent it will help in next 5 year, 10 year to micro entrepreneur, to entrepreneur who are operating inside the household premises, household based enterprises, and all that. So all these questions are very important. When we talk about entrepreneurship promotion, all these questions are very important. For whom are we going to promote entrepreneurship? For women, for youth, or for rural artisans? All these groups are very important. You go to any villages, you will find one weaver, one cobbler, one wood, doing something on wood, something doing something on bamboo, and all that. They also need schemes and programs. And after 75 years or so many years, we have now a scheme called PM Biswakarma, where we have identified 18 trades of the bottom of the pyramid and helping them. Cobbler, this, that, and all that. You can check the list. We also be concerned about disadvantageous social group like scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, third gender. So can AI do some miracle where more and more people from this disadvantageous caste group will be benefited, will get opportunity to start enterprise, will get access to different schemes and programs? So all these questions are very important, and AI can do this provided we use AI responsibly. We design AI in that situation, in that way, where it will help the poorest of the poor, or the micro nano sized entrepreneur, or SHG women who are now trying to start entrepreneur. In rural area, you will also find individual entrepreneur and group based enterprises. Many of you must be aware about self help group. Now government of India has so many schemes and programs, and the one many of you must be aware about is called Lakpati Didi. So now we have so many schemes and programs to help SHG women to convert their group as a business entity. To SHG women now running, and Kerala is a good example. This, because of this Kutumbasri, so many women entrepreneur, either as an individual or group, you will find, and many of them are doing well. And because of lot of I credit goes to ecosystem, lot of credit goes to the extension machineries, lot of credit goes to the state machinery. So once you have a system and the system is operating, there are close coordination between different departments, you will see very good results even in the enterprise promotion. And there are so many entrepreneurial possibilities are there in agriculture, in manufacturing, in services. But our focus, we focus disproportionately on manufacturing. If somebody is doing a factory, that we call it business. But a barber shop is also a business. If someone selling tea is also an entrepreneur, self-employment ventures. And As I said before, what is the power of that enterprise? Is it a top up income or a principal source of income? Is it providing enough? Is it generating enough income to support that family and two more family who are working in that enterprise as worker? So all these questions are important. Is that product has a seasonal market or perennial market? What is the market catchment area? In my village only I am selling, or in my district, or there is a demand outside the district and all. So the scale up and sustainable scale up are the two important issues that we are struggling when we talk about enterprise promotion. And to a large extent, this use of AI and ML, all this can be used to address these issues, the kind of challenges I am sharing before you on this screen, you can see on the PPT. Now, as I said, so many schemes and programs are there. 70 schemes from Government of India and more than 400 from different states. We also have talking about ease of doing business. Now every year we are producing one report called ease of doing business. So if you want to start a business, today, in how many days you will complete the process, taking different compliances, regulations, the land, the factory, the raw material and all that. So we are saying that all these process are now number of days were 50 before, now it is 40 or 32. We are saying that lot of formalization effort, lot of digital empowerment is also going on. Now IT enabled portals are also coming, as I shared with you before, where you don't have to visit to a office. If you are IT savvy, you can start your enterprise from getting into a platform also. So there are IT enabled portal from SIDBI, from Niti Aayog, who have platform called Women Enterprise WEP. If you are a woman, if you want to start an enterprise, log into that IT enable portal and they will help. So like that, there are IT enable portal, there are Udyam ID you can take. After taking that, you will get so much benefits and all that. One of the important, and that is related to ecosystem, is that for sustainable, scalable entrepreneurship model, we need a bouquet of services. And these bouquet of services are now being provided by different schemes, different departments. And these departments do not talk to each other, are in different platform, different tables and all that. If you can put them on single table, single window system, and in a sequential manner, in response time, then you will see so many good quality, sustainable, they are scaling up, doing well, earning profit, that kind of enterprises you will see in rural area. As I said it before, we focus disproportionately on creating new enterprises. We do not have many schemes and programs to support the existing enterprises. We do not have schemes and programs to support handicrafts, traditional industry groups, craft people and all that. And many of these so-called entrepreneurs who are aspiring to start an enterprise, some of them do not have that aspiration, do not have that mindset. Mentoring and handholding is necessary. Extension services is necessary. We have agricultural extension officer in, but many places we do not have any industrial extension officer or industrial department or this officer who are going around on the field and trying to understand what is the financial health of different enterprises. Are there business idea in the no office is there which is going to find out if there is business idea. So business idea scouting, if scouting is done, if you could identify helping them to start an enterprise. So all this, we are not able to complete this story. And we have so many schemes, programs on skilling, on employment generation, enterprise promotion and all that. The time has come to put together all this and unitedly to a single focus. Why there are schemes only for wage paid employment, DDUGKY. There are schemes that after doing that, after getting that scheme, you will only do enterprise. Like that, we have some structural issues. But most important is marketing. So let's not add another grocery shop, another tailoring, another papad women. So the carrying capacity of an area, how much people are buying in that area. And big corporate sector always do market survey while launching a product or launching the existing product with a new change. Are these facilities are there for small micro entrepreneur? No. So this mentoring, handholding in the area of finance, in the area of ideation, in the area of marketing, in the area of incubation. All these are very important. We have institutions, we have agencies, we have departments, but still we are not able to reach. And of late, if you look at rural area, you look at Ministry of Rural Development, we have a very big scheme called NRLM, National Rural Livelihood Mission. And in state, we used to call it SRLM. And in Kerala, it is called Kutumbasri. There are different names. In Rajasthan, it is called Rajibika. Like that, we have State Rural Livelihood Mission. And they are promoting so many farm and non-farm livelihood and entrepreneurial opportunities. And there are enhanced focus, there is enhanced budgetary allocation on converting this self-help group into business entity. So if you can see now on your computer screen, all these schemes programs are now running pan India. This micro enterprise development, promoting artisan cluster, promoting sectoral cluster, incubation support. Now state rural livelihood missions are also signing MOU with IIM. For what? IIM will give that advisory, this mentoring and that incubation support. We also are signing MOU with e-commerce platform like Amazon, Flipkart and all that. Gujarat State Rural Livelihood Mission signed MOU with Amazon to help 10,000 tribal entrepreneurs. So since marketing is a problem, what are we doing? In Odisha, the state government has started an agency called ORMAS. ORMAS has been created to help small entrepreneur, SHG based enterprises to address their marketing challenges. So if you have these kind of agencies, dedicated institutions to take care of their marketing of challenges, constraints, you will see many of them will do good, many of them will prosper, many of them will scale up. Over the recently, we have also started one-stop facility center where you will get all kind of support on single window. But now it has just started. We have to wait and watch, see how these OSPs, one-stop facility centers, are operating in different parts of the country. So, like that, there are many initiatives. For example, the small initiative, those who are from Odisha, they will know. In Odisha, there is a small program called Startup Odisha Yatra, where a four-wheeler is going to all higher educational institutions, engineering colleges, universities, and appraising them, informing them, making them aware about schemes and programs related to enterprise promotion. Because this all our students, their first preference is to get a job, that to a government job. So right from the beginning, you have to motivate, you have to inform that this is another window, another opportunity is available. Some of them let 10% trial, 15% try, or 1% try. So that is also important. Every state has now startup policy that already I have told about. There are very good works on entrepreneurship, especially in rural area, done by Kutumbasri. I will request Dr. George to connect to some Kutumbasri resource person or get them some material which is also available on Kutumbasri website to see what good work they have done so far as the rural enterprise is concerned. We have large number of institutions. I will spend another 7 minutes, then we can take questions. We will have enough time for questions. We have large number of institutions, and if I am a college teacher, if I am a participant like you, I should be aware about at least 5-10 schemes, at least 5 institutions, like what is district industrial center, what is ITIs, what is KBK, is there any schemes or programs of Kisi Vikas Kendra where I can send my students to find out, explore about and about starting and exploring an enterprise. So we have institutions to take care of issues related to technical, financial, marketing, training needs, and also a lot of institutions are there to take care of this legal regulations, compliances, laws, and all that. If you can see now on the computer screen, on your computer screen, you can see that we have large number of institutions from central government, and also you look at state government, where you will find at every level. At the center we have ministry of MSME, MORD, ministry of Panchayati Raj, ministry of tribal affairs, and all these ministries have one or the two schemes and programs related to enterprise promotion. Many of us are not aware about. So there is no dearth of schemes and programs, there is no dearth of fund to start enterprise. But the real question is, Are we supporting the way we should support, the way we should look at rural people, rural youth, or rural women? Do we need what kind of support they are asking for, or they require, or they need? Or we are going with our own idea and bulldozing our idea onto them, on them. So we have organization like Khadi and Village Industry Commission. We have National Small Industry Corporation. I will request all of you, when you get time, either in your computer, laptop, or in your mobile phone also, get into this website and find out what this institution is doing so far as the rural enterprise promotion is concerned. We have training institutes at the central level. Every state have also, we have training institutes who are providing training not only related to enterprise promotion, but the whole host of other, on education, health, livelihood, on banking, finance, and all that. There is no dearth of financial institutions also. All public sector banks are supposed to follow that priority sector lending, where we are saying that the X% of total credit you have to give it to agriculture and MSME. Whether they are following or not, we can debate on that. Besides this banking institution, we have exclusive specialized financial institutions like SIDBI, NABARD, and all that have been created to cater to address the need of agriculture and also MSME finance. So there are opportunities, there are schemes and programs, and if we want to create a story, write a story of this inclusive and sustainable rural enterprise, we have to do some homework. We have to do some, collect some data, feed into this, help feed into that AI. Then AI will give us a customized solution. If we cannot feed good data to the AI, or if we are giving wrong input to the AI, we will get wrong in insight. So that will backfire. So we need to do good mapping, profiling. If you are planning to help some villagers, rural women, rural youth, to think of exploring new business idea, you can help them. You can help them in mapping, profiling, what kind of skill set they have, what kind of market is there in that area or in the vicinity of 5 villages or in that district. Then identify local stakeholders. We have training institutes, we have bankers, we have gram panchayat. All these people can assemble and do a brainstorming and identify which are the areas we should focus on in next 2 years, next 3 years. And there are schemes and programs for everything. There are schemes to start dairy unit, there are schemes to start agripreneurship, there are schemes to start milletpreneur. We have Millet International Year in 2023, where lot of budget allocations were made to create milletpreneur. And there is a successful case. When you get time, you look at Odisha Millet Mission. So they have done very good work. But this, giving them scheme and to help them to start an enterprise and connect them with a robust ecosystem, we also have to see that some kind of social security, this health, education, if they are spending very much out of pocket expenses, then no matter how much they are earning from their enterprises, that will fall short of, and they will continue to operate at subsistence level. Many of these small micro entrepreneurs, you will find them below the poverty line, struggling and like that. So that's why in between I told you, can my AI will be such that it will benefit to the people who are on the bottom of the pyramid? Can my AI bring some customized solution where the nano size, the micro size entrepreneur who are doing something but struggling, help them to grow, help them to expand their market, help them to create some employment opportunities and all that. So there are a lot of challenges. Right on the first slide, I gave you that one sentence, that in rural area, entrepreneurship development is challenging but doable, because we have institutions, we have departments, we have schemes. Why we are not doing? Can AI address some of the problems that we are highlighting now? I leave it to you to think about it. Linking with market, linking with different schemes and programs, linking with different institutions who can provide Now in every state you will find the incubation hub, incubation centers, but many of these are located in the urban area, in city. So can our rural people access that? So you need to create a mechanism where they also get the advisories of this incubation hub or the incubation center, which are there in the university, which are there in the engineering colleges and all that. So there are opportunities. When you get time, I will request all of you to get into this website where you will get lot of information about all schemes and programs that we have in India, not only of the government of India, but also of the state government. So there are schemes and programs. Uh, if you have a business idea, you can get into this website, upload your business idea, and maybe they will help you to start that enterprise also. So in this website, and there are many such enterprise website where you will also get sample business plan. So if you want to help rural people, rural youth to start an enterprise, we can help them to write a good business plan, which bank will accept, a bankable business proposal, which he or she may not be doing because of some constraint, education or awareness or whatever. So there are a lot of opportunities which are available, and teachers, practitioners, uh, all of us can do our bit to contribute to the inclusive and sustainable enterprise development in rural area. We all have a responsibility. We can do a little bit also. So whenever we are getting time, we can go to a nearby village, look at their enterprises, help them to identify what kind of challenges they are facing, tell them that these are the schemes, programs available which you can avail, connect them to the tehsildar, connect them to the gram panchayat where these schemes, programs can be accessed, and like that. A lot of opportunities are there from us. So to write a inclusive, sustainable, scalable, replicable entrepreneurship models in rural area, we need formalization. There are so many informal enterprises are there. We need extension machineries. So who can help them to address their different kind of challenges, maybe related to marketing, maybe related to finance or incubation and all that. We are always talking about this digital revolution, IT enabled portal, dashboards and website. But we have to ask this question: what is the internet penetration we have seen in the rural area? We have a big BharatNet program, but what is the quality of internet which is available in the rural area? How many of them are using internet for their business purposes? Do they have that skill set? Do they have that funding to buy a smartphone, get internet connection, and access all these entrepreneurship related schemes and programs, advisory, support services, which are now we are saying that are available on dashboard or platforms? So it's very easy to say that many things are available on platforms, IT enabled portals, but this question need to be asked whether our rural people are aware about these IT enabled portals or platforms. Even if they are aware, are they using? Do they have that education, skill set, training to use smartphone to get into a website and to get a benefit which is provided by government of India or any state government? So that is the question we need to ask. Convergence, collaboration is very important. I will tell again and again, for sustainable, scalable enterprise promotion in rural area, you need a bouquet of services. This bouquet of support services are now being provided by different ministries, different departments, different agencies, which are located in different places. So how can you make them available on single platform, on single window, and also that response time is also important. I need marketing support today, and you are giving me marketing support after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, then there is no point. So that is also important. Access to shared services and collectives is also important. Why? One single individual entrepreneur is producing X kilo, which is so low. Nobody from urban area will go to rural area to buy that 5 kilo. But if means 10 people are making papad and all of them are making 5 kilo papad, if we will combine that, it will be 50 kilo. So now some trader will take interest to go to rural area and pick that 50 kilo. So access to shared services in terms of infrastructure, in terms of transport, in terms of cold storage, common facility center is very important. Everybody cannot have a cold storage. So in rural area, you need to have access to shared services, a cold storage which is used by many small entrepreneurs. In rural area, you need common facility center. I can't buy a big machine. But if you have a common facility center where small little machines are there, where many entrepreneurs are going, doing some value addition in their product and selling it. Everybody cannot have a smartphone. Everybody cannot have internet. Imagine you are installing a computer in the Gram Panchayat office where all these entrepreneurs aspiring and existing can come and access to all facilities which are now available on web page or dashboard or on the IT-enabled portal or platforms. So that is also important. And we also need to tell them, don't produce only final product. Why are we pushing all small nano micro entrepreneur to produce final product? We have to help them and put them on a value chain, produced an intermediate product which is being used to make another final products like auto parts. In Hyderabad, there is a small company who is only producing fried onion, which is used in biryani. He is not worried about who is eating biryani and all that. So we have to think beyond D2C, direct to customer. We have to focus more B2B, business to business. You have to create value chain. We have to help them to put them in a value chain, in a larger value chain. If they are on the bottom end, they may not get the surplus. So we have to help them how to make their product valuable, some value addition, and get good price of their intermediate products. So marketing is not buying and selling, and one of the big challenge that our rural entrepreneurs are facing is marketing. So when we talk about marketing, everything comes: marketing information, identifying a new market, product quality, packaging, all these are important. Value chain, transport facility, sending product to and right time and all that. So all these are very much important. Let me close here, but before I close, I must tell you that I have not used any AI tools to prepare this PPT. There are so many AI tools, this Kanaba, Power BI, Gamma, etc., etc. So I am still not convinced on this use of AI or AI based chat GPT and all that, or this kind of tools to make PPT. I am still the old school traditional researcher who prefers preparing PPT without any AI tools and all that. So let me stop here, but I will be very happy to take question, comments, observations, criticism, all are welcome. Thank you very much, and back to Dr. George, please. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, you.
So there is.
So
Let
we
me
have
take.
few questions in chat box. I can read it out. Princey
Yeah,
and
please.
Thomas has asked a question. Is there any schemes to support people in rural areas who has a failing enterprise?
Not directly, but there are schemes and programs. They can go to district industrial center. They can go to KBK, Krishi Vigyan Kendra, and all that. We have some agencies. We have in every district. We have district level state rural livelihood mission officials where they can go and discuss and look for some support. There is no direct schemes and programs, but there are support we can expect from these agencies.
Okay, sir. Next question is from Suman Sharma. Is there any way any NGO aware rural people about the same or any other strategy?
Can you come again?
Suman Sharma, are you in call? Could you please explain the question? Seems like the question has less clarity, sir. Shall we move on to next question?
Let me read. Is there any way any NGO aware rural people about the same or any other strategy? See, there are so many schemes and programs which are implemented by NGO because we government of India and state government do not have presence. A lot of good NGOs are promoting enterprise development. For example, Pradhan, Seva, so many NGOs. So they are also implementing government schemes and they have their own schemes and programs. NGOs are there. They are doing good work in some part of the country. Can you tell us a little more about opportunities that exist in renewable energy, handicraft, agribusiness for rural entrepreneurs? Yes, there are specific schemes for agripreneurship. You look at Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. There is a scheme called ACBC. There is a scheme called RKVY. Renewable energy, I am not so much familiar about. For handicraft, we have Spruti, SFRUTI. For handicraft, we have now PM Vishwakarma. For handicraft, we have some marketing related schemes and programs. We have Handloom Council. We have an organization called APEDA, which takes care about exporting agricultural products. So there are schemes and programs. There are agencies. So if you will Google, and there is one couple of link where you will get all these at one place. I shared with you one msmeideas.gov.in where you will not only get the schemes and programs of central government, but also you will get schemes and programs of all state government. If you want to see Kerala, click on Kerala, all schemes and programs of Kerala will come. But be careful because these websites are not regularly updated. So there will be one website. If you will click, maybe it will open, maybe it will not open. So that concern is there. But there are schemes and programs.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
I would like to add a point here. So like a geographical indication.
Yes, please.
These are basically creation by the rural artisans or a rural farmer or those things. That something can be added in this as such because say, whatever the problem faced by the rural India, which is mainly helping this kind of very creative stuff, which is in case of a local specific art or a product which are meant or can be produced there, like various things like a Kesar mango or Alfonso mango or Darjeeling tea. So that nuances can be find out and can be nurtured, and we can get a registration of a GI for which IP office they have a registry called a GI registry. This is very helpful and which is now government also
Yeah,
pushing
and
it.
yeah,
So
ODOP you must be aware about. Government of India, this
So
ODOP.
that's a yeah, and another point is like a bottleneck. We need to find out what are the bottleneck. One of the bottleneck rightly identified by is capability of a person who is applying for that particular scheme. So there's always a skill gap between a rural Indians and what business require. So sometimes government need to intervene and play the larger role of a you create a work, we will market for you kind of thing. So there should be
Exactly.
some kind of yeah. Interpreting
That's
it should be
what
kept because
government of Odisha has done. They have created an agency called Ormas. Their whole responsibility is to market, look for new market, help them to market. You produce something, we will mentor about the quality, standardization, and we will market. That's what they are doing.
so I think that model should be repeated in many other states also.
Yeah, We know marketing is a problem. We are also telling again and again, but what all we are doing, that is the real question.
Hello, Sahu sir. This
Yes,
is from
please.
Dr. George. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know that because jewelry is something is very important thing. I mean, there are different designs are there. I already heard that from UP we have some sort of different jewelries there. So how can I mean, that's a rural business, right? In our Kerala also we have something like in Thrissur near uh, Palakkad. We have something like that. So they have some different kinds of designs. So AI can promote that sort of designs, right?
Yes, sir. This designing new product in jewelry, AI can help. Identifying new market for jewelry, that also AI can do. AI can do a lot, provided we feed the right data.
Okay.
In our institute, we are providing training on jewelry also. Pearls, you might be aware, no? In Hyderabad, pearl is very famous. So many women are coming here and taking training how to design jewelry out of pearls.
Sir,
Did
we
I
have
miss
another.
anything on the chat box?
Yes, sir. At the bottom, there is one more question. People in rural areas, normally, they may have some difficulties in accepting AI. Maybe they are not aware. Lots
I
of
told you
factors.
in my slide, I told you that acceptance in terms of trust, in terms of that confidence, and in rural area, entrepreneurship is very challenging. They are happy what they are doing. It's very difficult to convince to take them that mode to another mode with high technology, with all this is very difficult. But good works are also happening. If you can showcase them, if you can show them on video, look, somebody has done this with the help of this, would you like to do this, try this? So lot of this hands-on training, good practices, if they will see, then only they will be convinced, or else uh, it's, and if you can convince them that a lot of drudgery will be reduced with using this kind of technology, if you can showcase them, and if you can help them to transient seamlessly without any difficult from one system to another, definitely they will be happy to come forward. And this will not happen overnight.
Okay, sir. Do we have any further questions? Participants, feel free to ask.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
See, my grandfather was an assistant for creating Bamboo Corporation. The bamboo was coming from Neriamangalam. How can we promote this using AI?
See, we need to identify the problem area. In bamboo, you can do many things. Raw bamboo, or people are selling. In bamboo, doing some processing, you make bamboo chair, bamboo this and all this. But creating new design, creating new market, identifying new market area, with the help of AI, a lot can be done.
Okay.
Sir, a lot is done in Northeast on a bamboo related product. Like bamboo paints
Yes.
are there, bamboo is done in the interior, even the small structures also, decorative piece. So a lot of activity you can check on a Northeastern state website. You will get a lot of detail on a bamboo usages, innovative use.
Yes. The time was there, bamboo was used as a raw material in this housing and construction, but now a lot of other product you will see and that's very expensive.
Ma'am, I have one more question.
Yes, please.
My grandfather, he was a retired employee in Fed Bank, and he was mostly worked in rural areas like Calicut and Kannur, and he was promoted many business ideas there. Then how can we promote it using AI? Can we promote it?
No, don't ask how can we promote AI. See, as I said, AI is something which can be connected, related with so many things. We need to identify what is the problem area. For what purpose we want to use AI. That is important. So suppose we have a business idea. To curate that business idea, we can take the help of AI. To we have a product, to make it little bit high quality or something, we can take the help of AI, or to redesign products and all. So AI is a tool. It's not the end. It's a means. So you find out what is the end. What do you want to do with the AI? What is the problem area we are trying to address? That is important. I hope I could answer your question.
ઉઠવાનું કે લાગે સવાર કે લાગે ઉઠવાનું તો બહુ મોડું થાય કામનું.
Do we have any further questions, participants? So shall we conclude the session? I think there are no further queries.
Did you see the chat box? Is there any new?
No, sir.
Okay. It's up to you. If there are questions, I can wait, or we can conclude.
Okay, sir.
In any case, it's 7:25. So
Okay. Okay, so I hope your questions are answered. We can conclude the session. I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the outstanding session on rural entrepreneurship. Your deep insights and expertise on the subject were truly invaluable, and the knowledge you shared has enriched our understanding. Your presentation not only captivated us, but also sparked meaningful discussions, and your real-world examples provided a practical perspective that will no doubt benefit our teaching and research going forward. Thank you once again, sir.
thank you, Dr. Joss. Thank you, madam. And I will email a copy of this PPT so that you can circulate. Thank you all participants. Good evening and take care. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
So I am logging out, madam. Dr. George, I am logging out.
Yeah, sure. Okay. We're starting the next.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Participants, kindly note the feedback form link is provided in the chat box. Kindly fill the same to ensure that your attendance is recorded.
Full logan. അല്ലല്ല പറഞ്ഞോ തുടങ്ങിക്കും ആൾറെഡി
Participants, I repeat, please submit your feedback form only once using the registered email address. If you receive your already responded message after clicking the link, it confirms that your feedback has been successfully submitted. There's no need to resubmit from a different email address. Thank you for your cooperation. We can move on to the next session. Our next session is about generative AI in multimedia. It will be handled by Professor Devadas Rajaram, Alliance University, Bangalore. He teaches multimedia storytelling, AI and prompt engineering at Alliance University, Bangalore, and former senior editor-in-chief of info2sell.com, the first mobile storytelling platform in the world. He's also the co-founder of Now Age Storytelling, with over 20 years of experience as a journalist in the Middle East and the UK. He has also taught at Asian College of Journalism, Chennai, American University in Bulgaria, and has been a visiting professor at Stuttgart Media University, Germany, and Hyderabad Central University. In 2018, he was named one of the 20 journalism innovators worldwide, the only Asian on the list by the prestigious US-based organization MediaShift, the premier destination for insight and analysis at the intersection of media and technology. Welcome, sir, to the session.
Yeah, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you very much, Dr. Shine, for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity. And apologize for just confusion this morning about the dates and the timing and for swapping the time. Now, I got a short presentation here, and it's not going to be. I would like this to be in the format of in the form and shape of a workshop rather than a. So those who have mobile phones on handy with you or laptops handy with you, you can actually practice what I'm going to be talking about here. Then about myself, I'm not an academician. I don't come from the academia. I just happen to be a teacher, professor. Most of my career I spent in the industry, which is digital and mobile storytelling. And I've been experimenting with AI tools for the last 7-8 years. And I started teaching AI, how AI can be applied in storytelling for the last 6-7 years. Before that was a long time before ChatGPT became public. So, so this session in 45 minutes, 50 minutes, what I'm trying to go through is what I'm going to actually. I'm not going to explain anything theoretical, and I'm not going to explain anything too technical. So this is meant to be the objective of this session is to demystify and familiarize you with Gen AI and AI tools and techniques, and how this can be used for storytelling. So since I'm a journalist, I've been a journalist all my life. It's going to be, I might be a little biased towards journalism and non-fiction storytelling, but I try to include fiction as well as advertising, how this is used in different multimedia formats. So it's all about how this tool can be leveraged is the word. I don't even use the word use, leveraged. Like we leverage mobile phones to communicate with each other, and we leverage a laptop to work, in our workplace, and how we leverage a car to move faster from point A to point B, and how we leverage electricity to read at night. And it's just like that, like the former speaker said, it's just a tool, and any tool is as good as what we use it for. So can't say I'm an evangelist. not trying to evangelize technology here. What I'm trying to do with this short session is to familiarize you with the tools and techniques in storytelling, that is multimedia storytelling. So when it comes to multimedia, when you mentioned the word AI, what comes to two things, and I've been doing workshops all around the world, just about AI to different professionals from advertising or different industries, doctors, even tattoo artists. So the two questions that pop up in these sessions is, one, is it going to take my job? Is it going to make me redundant? And second question is, no, I can't do this because I'm too old for this, or this is too technical for me. And through this session, you're going to see that how easy this can be dispelled, this misconceptions about AI, and how useful a tool can this be, this technology can be for people in any profession. Okay, you don't have to be an educator. You can be a doctor. You can be a carpenter. You can be an architect. You can be a farmer. But like I said, some of the workshops, I get people from neurosurgeons to tattoo artists. So how can you leverage this tool? So let me share my presentation here. I'll be sharing this later. I think I've already shared with Dr. Shine. So I'm going to share this presentation in a short presentation and with you. Can you see my screen? Is my screen visible? Hello. Is my screen
Yes, sir.
visible? Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, unlike the former speaker, I created all the visuals here with Gen AI. Okay, so I use different techniques here, different tools here. So it's not about the tools; it's about work you can use this. So three things about AI. First thing is this: you got to understand that this is just a tool. Okay, like a car, like a motorbike, like electricity. This is just a tool. And second thing is this can be actually leveraged by anybody in any profession, whether you're an educator to a carpenter or to a plumber to a farmer, anybody can use this. And third thing is the most important thing, that is we're going to talk about how ethical usage of AI, how far is too far, and how far can you go with this. Okay, and that is the most important part. So far as I'm concerned, since I'm an educator, I'm a digital media educator. So we'll be covering all these three areas here. So let's try to demystify AI here. What is this? So here people say we are going to be talking about not just AI, it's generative AI. So it's nothing, rocket science about this. It's just an AI is just a technology that can accomplish, that can actually do quite a lot of, most of the function that a human can do. Okay, that is artificial. I don't even call it artificial intelligence. We'll come back to it later. So it's just create content. So any content, multimedia content means it could be text, audio, visual, an infographic, a data visualization, you name it, or a 3D model. You can actually create anything. You can generate something with a technology, and these are done with prompts. So I'll be covering a little bit of prompt engineering also here. Again, don't worry about this big, high-sounding words. Nothing to do with engineering. Nothing to do with a lot of people. The moment I mentioned prompt engineering, a lot of people say, this is again going to. I'm not good at math. You don't need to be good at math. For example, I come from an English literature background and I'm just straight off into technology. So here it's all about generating content with the help of technology, a program language. Okay, and this language is called large language models. So that is Gen AI. When we say GPT is, the word GPT stands for generative pre-trained transformer. We don't even need to know all those full forms and everything. It's just generating content. And it could be a text, it could be a video, it could be an audiograph, it could be any multimedia element. So I'm going to show you the examples created by, a lot of examples I experimented with personally, and my students here at the university created. So that's the examples I'm going to be showing in most of this presentation, throughout this presentation. So a little bit of storytelling. So everybody is a storyteller, whether you're a surgeon to anybody. You are a storyteller. As educators, we are storytellers. We tell a story. We turn everything into a story in the classroom. So whether you are a physics teacher, you can make it very interesting physics. The teaching make it a very interesting, engaging experience by turning that into a story. I mean, in the form of a story format. So from oral traditions to generative AI narratives, how this presentation, this is how technology has played a big role in transforming the storytelling method. For example, when we started off, we were just drawing, just graphics in caves, and that was the first storytelling. That was 5,000 years ago. After a day's hard work, we come back to our caves, and after hunting in the forest, we sit around the bonfire, we make a stone, so our ancestors did that, and just explained everything in the form of in the cave graphics. And that was the first way of the primary way of communication for them. Then we started inventing words, we started using words, and the oral storytelling tradition was emerged. So now that is about storytelling. I don't want to go to storytelling since the topic of this, this session is going to be generative AI, how this technology is going to be used. So this can be used. The role of AI in multimedia is about like how important was pen. Now pen is not that important because very few of us actually use pen to write stories. Like how important your laptop is to type something, to create something, content, you're creating content. We don't call it, this content is generated with just Lenovo typewriter, or used by an iPhone or an Android phone. So it's just a tool. So here we create scripts, captions, dialogue, and that is text to text. There are three things here. Text to text we'll be covering. How this can be used to create text to text, and how text to image, then text to video. So let's not look at the tools here now. We're going to actually look at one after another. What can be, how you can leverage AI, this generative AI tools. We'll be looking at 4 tools here. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen with all the 4 tools here for text, and 2 or 3 tools for creating images and videos also. Another. So you can actually take note of it, just in case if I mention something that is not part of the presentation here. So 3 formats, okay, text format, visual format, and audio format. So multimedia is all about, say, integration of different elements into a story, okay, whether it's a non-fiction story, a fiction story, which includes text, which includes infographics, that is information presented in the form of a graphic, or it could be an image in the text story, a video clip in the text story, and all combined together, coming together on one single platform. That is multimedia. Okay, they don't stand alone apart from each other. They can, but when you combine together on one single platform, that is called multimedia. So we'll be looking at a combination of this, as well as how can you create content, standalone content, using these tools. Okay, so for example, a documentary, it's nothing to multimedia, it's just a visual story. An audio clip, a podcast, it's just an audio format. A data visualization is just going to be part of a web story, or whether you're creating, say, 3D elements or games. So these are all different elements of multimedia. So multimedia is a combination of different elements in different forms and shapes for different platforms. So far, so good, clear? Am I talking too fast? Am I? By the way, feel free to stop me and just interrupt me if you want to ask any question in between. Okay. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the moment you mentioned AI to a student, I've had this experience in my classrooms, because in my classes, you cannot use anything. You cannot even attend if you're not using AI tools. So I make it a point to insist on, you should use, you must use it. If you're not able to, if you have any other quarrels with this technology, I'm very sorry, you can't attend these classes. So you got to use it, not only use it, you've got to prove that you used it. That is what prompt engineering comes in. So different people, different teachers have different approaches. I'm all for it, okay? So mostly when you talk to a student about AI, the student is going to think that, I can cheat my professor. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write a 600-word long essay about gender equality, blah, blah, blah. And my professor, unfortunately, professor is too old to understand all of this. Then I'll make some corrections, Quillbot or something, I'll rewrite, then I can cheat it. And that's not what AI is used for. Okay, don't ever use AI to actually write for you. Okay, we are not going to be using that. It's for ideation, story ideation. I'm going to show you examples of stories we have used actually in different formats, by different media platforms in Kerala, in other places. How this is used, because I happen to train a lot of people in journalists in Mathrubhumi, Asianet, Manorama. Then a lot of them, quite a lot of them use AI tools to create a story ideas and structure and outline stories. So here, generating fresh ideas for stories. Say, for example, you're telling a story about gender equality. So as a human and an experienced storyteller, I've done several stories on a lot of things. I can think of max 10 ideas. But with the help of an AI tool like ChatGPT, Claude, or Microsoft Copilot or Gemini, I can actually expand this into 25 different ideas, even 50 different ideas. And I can ask the tool to pick the best part of each idea and form one idea, give me one idea. And that saves a lot of time. And you can also target, you can actually, we'll explain that later. You can target the audience. My story, I want to tell a story about gender equality to under 18-year-olds. So how should I format the story? How should I structure the story? Okay, I'm not asking you to write the story for me. I'm not asking to create visuals for the story for me. How do it's all about ideation, brainstorming. The AI is best tool, is best used for story ideation. Okay, in multimedia storytelling. I can also ask analyzing, okay, just suggest me ideas. So we'll be getting into the prompts later. And after analyzing the current trends, and my audience, I want to target audience, a young audience between the age of 21 and 15. So it will change the format, the structure of the story for that audience. So if I change that into audience above 30, in the rural areas or urban area, I can actually personalize the structure of the story for different types of audiences. And that is where AI comes in. Okay, I'm not going to ask her to write a story for me or create content for me. Creating content, you can, but it's certain with ethical, we'll get to that later in the story, how we can actually ask these tools to create content for it. So first is story ideation. Okay, and we start with story ideations, which brings us to prompt engineering. Like I said, it's just the art of asking questions. Say, for example, if I want a particular answer from Sri Lakshmi, see, I can see Sri Lakshmi here, what she had for breakfast today, I had to ask Sri Lakshmi, what did you have for breakfast today? Okay, if I ask Sri Lakshmi, how are you, Sri Lakshmi? She's not going to tell me that what she had for breakfast today, right? So similar, like natural language, speaking to somebody, you have to ask a proper question to get the desired result. Okay, so prompt engineering is all about what do you type or what do you type into ChatGPT or Cloud or any LLM and what result do you want it to give you? Okay, so writing is asking the right question. Okay, for an image generation, what exactly? So you got to be very specific. You got to be very clear about it. You got to explain the context properly. And like talking to a person, if you that is the art of asking questions. And that is called prompt. Prompting means the input, what you type into these tools. And engineering is how do you actually manipulate it? How do you actually engineer that? How do you actually structure that to get a desired result, to get what exactly you're looking for? Say, for example, let me give you an example. I want to structure, say, one story. I'll just show you examples of here later. Okay, same prompt for a text story. So this is my prompt. Say, create a compelling character. So you got to set a goal. What exactly are you trying to achieve? So this is my prompt. Okay, so this is what I copy paste on ChatGPT. See here, I'm going to show you this how it works. So I set a goal for the tool, that is create a compelling character-driven narrative for a feature article. Got it? I'm writing a feature. I'm not asking it to write it for me. A narrative structure, a story anchor, okay, for that. So then you got to assign a persona to this tool. That is, act as an award-winning journalist. So now your ChatGPT is going to think like an experienced journalist. So when you're asking to create a content in a structure for a visual story, act as an award-winning or an experienced visual storyteller. And when you're creating content for a data story, act as an experienced data storyteller. And generate a unique idea. See, I'm going to structure this and I'm going to try this. See, I'm very, very specific about this. Okay, look at the specificity here. I set a goal, okay, and I assigned a persona, a character, a role to this tool, that is award-winning journalist. And I'm including, see here, this insert topic, say healthcare. The idea should include a culture central character. It should have a central, because the story uh, should actually evolve around a character, that is a human. And a vivid backstory, suggest story phases, suggest narrative, hook and tone, and everything. See, now this is a prompt. This is a complete and perfect and very elaborate and complete prompt. I'm going to copy this prompt and I'm going to play this, see, oh, my ChatGPT is not working. Just a second. I can use other tools. I use different tools here. Just a second. It's just, yeah. To save time, I'm going to use Copilot here. Here I am going to use my Copilot here. Yeah, no, wait. Just a sec. Have I lost the screen? Am I still with you? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to use Copilot here. This is an amazing tool. I use 4 tools in a Copilot. Then I use Perplexity. Then I use Gemini, Google AI Studio. These are the 4 tools I used. Okay, not Gemini, just Gemini AI Studio. So these are the 4 tools. I'm going to use my premium account because I have an access to the premium account here through my college email, my university email. Say I'm going to prompt. I'm going to say prompt here to Copilot. So, and see, this is a prompt. So set a goal, okay, set a persona and set a target audience and see what happens. So it's creating, see here, article, The Silent Healer, a village doctor's battle for. So this is an idea, okay, and Anjali Rao is a fictional character. She doesn't exist. So somebody like Anjali Rao, so I have to create a character with a woman doctor, okay, woman doctor who works serving in a remote village. And key conflict. See, I'm telling this is not a fiction story. This is a non-fiction story. So I'm thinking of this now. After reading this, I got an idea. So these are the parts I should have in my story. See, I should interview this doctor. No Anjali Rao, it could be any doctor, XYZ. Ideally, a woman. Okay. And say testimonies from villagers talking about and healthcare experts talking about. So I got a proper and tone. The tone will be emotional and inspirational and narrative hook. The article with a vivid scene of Dr. Anj performing a life-saving surgery. So I got an idea about, so it just told me how to go about my story. So rather than just creating something and just trying to rack my brain, how should I go about? Now my thoughts are structured in such a way that I can save a lot of time and I got a structure. Remember one thing, I never asked you to write the story for me. Okay, that is done by me. And somebody's mic is on. Okay, now I'm going to actually try this with ChatGPT now. See here what it does. Say what I'm going to do is say the article is the last mile. So it has created a story structure, story idea for me. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to stop with one idea. You can ask it to create 10 ideas or 5 ideas like this, then combine them into one. Here it's talking about, they're talking about Calcutta. Okay. The story is from Calcutta. So now I'm going to ask ChatGPT, okay, now set the story. Set the story in Wayanad. Okay. Wayanad. Wayanad. Kerala. So listen, what I've done is, it's like to say I have personal stories here. Say healing with the Highlands. So it just gave me an idea. So here's Srilata, again a woman doctor, and woman character, and sorry, character, and it just given me ideas about the story. So that is story ideation, okay? Because a lot of idea people think that it's all about just copying and pasting from somebody. It's not. Okay, this has nothing to do with that. It's just what we are trying to do here is just creating. Just a second, you know. Yeah, just go away. Yeah. So you can try this with Claude. You can try Claude AI. You can try this with Microsoft AI, Copilot AI. You can use this with ChatGPT, of course. You can try, or you can try this with Perplexity. Okay, Perplexity. You can actually note down this. I haven't mentioned this in my presentation, and you can also do this with Gemini. Okay, Gemini. That is Gemini Studio. Okay, so these are the tools. This studio, Gemini, say Google AI Studio. So these are the tools. So what we are done, what we have just seen is how to create not content, okay, content idea, okay, content idea with this. So here, what is happening here? See what I've done here is, see, just a sec. Can you see my screen, guys? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here, this is a prompt, okay? So prompt is what you put inside, okay? What you actually type in. So the more specific, the more clear it is, the better the output will be. So set a goal, okay? And assign a persona, okay? And exact format. What format you want here? Say personal story. It should be a personal story. That is a format. And you need, so I suggested, because since I'm a storyteller, I suggested there should be a central character with a vivid backstory. And now I have an idea about how to create a feature article. This would text to text writing, okay? Now we're moving on to say prompt for a visual story. So a photo essay, it could be a documentary. So set a goal. Again, my prompt is, that is what I type in. Okay, this got prompt engineering. See, I engineered the content. I set a goal that is cinematic. It should be cinematic essay, convey strong visual. Imagine you're a world-class documentary filmmaker, and say you are an experienced with expertise in visual storytelling, a visually story-rich story idea, and all you have to do is urban loneliness. Okay, instead of urban loneliness, say I'm going to create this. Say I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples of this. What? Okay, so here, sorry. I'm going to copy this prompt, and I'm going to go to Microsoft, see here my Copilot, and I'm asking it to see here, see what happens. Can you see? You can see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it just gave me a right to say, just say what the story should be. Now I'm going to make it more specific by say in the bracket, see here, interviews almost say topic. I'm going to suggest the topic here. Okay, immersive storytelling, develop an audio story, I'd insert the theme. No, this was podcast, sorry. I just jumped the thing a little bit. So video story should be about the video story. Sorry, I just jumped a little bit. I want this, okay, visual story. So now you see something here. We're planning a visual story on global audience for the global region. Say urban, highlight insert the theme. Okay, inside the theme, I can suggest a theme here. Okay, what is the theme here? I'm going to suggest a theme here, say Microsoft. Go here. The theme is, say I'm going to suggest the theme here. I'm doing a, say, climate crisis, okay? Idea that highlights see climate crisis. Okay. So you can keep changing this. So once you have a set template, you can change it. So my story is about climate crisis and how do I start? So this, see how much time I can save. Say visual story, the last fisherman of Sundarbans. So you can change the Sundarbans to say Tekadi, you can Sundarbans to Banarkata in Karnataka, or some other Kutch in Gujarat. And what is giving us the structure, the story idea, see establishing shot and see the daily life. It even suggests you the camera movements. Okay, you can also ask, just suggest me say I'm going to expand this now. Suggest me, and it just give me a structure of it, and color creation and lighting, emotional essence, how the story should feel like, to actually how the story should look like, and you look and feel like. You can set that. So you can even set the say in the prompt if you mentioned. So it's a global audience. Okay. If you can just audience only in Kerala, only in South India, only in Tamil Nadu, only in Karnataka, you can actually changes, it changes the structure of the story. So now I'm going to suggest suggest me an idea for the opening sequence of the above story. Okay. Including camera angles and movements. See what happens. Say it just see opening sequence. So the idea. See scene description, aerial shot. It should start with a drone shot, high angle wide shot, and it should move from word to word. Do you understand how you don't have to be an expert? It just suggested. So before you start shooting this, I have an idea now how to go about it. This is a fantastic aid which actually helps you formulate your idea. And now I'm getting better. You don't have to actually. Can that person mute the mic, please? Yeah, you don't have to exactly verbatim go by what this suggested. You can actually bring your own creativity into this. So that's what we do. That's what I train my students to do. After creating this the outline structure, we brainstorm about. We ask them to bring my students now. Ask our students to bring in their ideas, and we improvise upon this. So this saves a lot of time, energy, and money actually when you're actually going over a big documentary. So that is what this visual prompt is all about. So prompt engineering is about what you type in to create a desired effect. So what we are seeing here is how to create, say, prompt engineer a prompt for a text story. Now we're seeing how to create a visual story idea. Now, after that, audio story, you're creating a podcast. In podcast, there are a lot of misconceptions of podcast in Kerala, particularly in India, actually. That is a podcast is about two people just talking about blah, blah, blah. And this person say blah, blah, blah. And that is not even podcast. That's just a recording of a conversation. How do you make it more immersive? By a compelling narrative. How do you tell this? Users should tell a story. It's not two people discussing about, say, what happened in Cochin, what happened in Delhi, what happened in Chennai, and how climate crisis is going to affect humans. A doctor talking about it, another person asking questions. That's not podcast. There is no story. It's a conversation between two people. And proper audio stories should create an immersive experience for the listener. And how do you create that? So you can actually use this. Okay. Now the same story, say you can actually story idea. Do you see the story idea? Here, unresolved mysteries of ancient history. Instead of that, say you are creating one story for the text. A text story was about a rural doctor. You can use the same prompt to turn the same story into a visual documentary about a rural doctor. And you can use the same prompt and turn that into an audio story. So what you've done here is you actually use different prompts, 3 prompts to create to turn one story into multiple multimedia story. That is one in the text format, the rural doctor or health worker, and second one is the same thing we just used this by prompt engineering, turned into a visual story, And the same we turned into audio story. And the format, the structure, the outline will not be the same. Understand how much time we saved? And we're not, and finally, once it gives you the structure, then you sit down and write the script. Never ever depend on ChatGPT or any of these tools to write a script for you. That will be asking the students, trying to cheat their professors, teachers by, write, say 600 words essay on India's independence struggle, blah, blah, blah. And because you don't, it doesn't, that person is going to lose a job first, because we don't need you that for that. Anybody can do that. That's like in asking ChatGPT write an essay for you or write a story for you is as bad as using a Ferrari to deliver pizza. We don't use Ferrari to deliver pizza. You don't buy Ferrari. You don't own a Ferrari or a Volkswagen or other fancy car to deliver pizza. It's even used for a different purpose. So here you can structure this with this prompt engineering. So it's a very deep area of it's very interesting and exciting part. This prompt engineering part, just I sometimes do the workshops for journalists and other people, and it takes at least 10 days to actually go deeper into this. You can actually go deeper into this for different story formats. So these are the three multimedia elements we covered. Now we move on to some examples here. So look at the third part is, okay, now we know how to create. Now, what do you actually, sorry. Yeah. Just a sec. Yeah. Now, what do you use this? So you can use this for different purpose. Just a second. Let me go back and come back here. Just playing. I made a mistake. I should have. Wait. Let me pause this. Yeah. Now, visual stories, what kind of visual stories you can tell with this? That is the perennial, there's a never-ending argument, a quarrel. A lot of people, okay, now what is going to be the use of human creativity? What is going to happen to creative for us in the humans? It's never been about human versus machines or algorithms or technology. It's always been human with machines. You know something, and I keep telling this story wherever, when people raise this question, is this going to replace me? It's going to actually make us dumb. Is it going to make us actually less smart? No, my experience in the last 10 years playing around 8-9 years, playing around with these tools, it's made me actually smarter because it just challenges me with different ideas. Because as a human, I can think of only 10 ideas. It can actually give me 50 ideas. So it's my job to look at 50 ideas and actually combine them, the best elements of it. Now, when it comes to visual storytelling, where can you use it? Like I said, how far is too far? Where exactly can you actually use these tools? And say, what if somebody creates, say, for example, a story about, say, for example, let's say that, say a particular person, a politician is visiting a particular place, and you don't want to send your photographer or your visual storyteller reporter there. What if you can actually create, Rahul Gandhi visiting uh, Kashmir without actually sending a photographer or a camera person there. You can create, but is that ethical? It's not ethical. Okay, ethically is all about when you draw the line. This is the most important part. Say unique imagery, something that cannot be done in person. So, for example, this created by my students about Petra. Petra is supposed to be the 7th or 8th wonders of the world in Jordan. So when you're telling the story, the history of Petra, this place, you cannot go back in time 3,000 years in time and shoot it. So from whatever you read, from documented, evidence, you write a script, then you prompt the tools to visualize this for you. And based on, and all the rigors of storytelling goes into the fact checking and rigors. You cannot make up anything. You can't place an alien person here. Okay, you can't place somebody who visibly don't belong to that place, and you cannot make this any fancy. You can't bring in your imagination to this because this is factual storytelling. So this story is a brilliant story. So such documentaries. So for example, I'm going to show you some examples of created by my students to tell stories like this. One is about Petra. Say Petra, see here. Sorry. Yeah. the past.
The city's rulers were celebrating.
So it's very clear, we cannot go back in time and shoot this. We cannot employ thousands of actors to do this as in a movie, but based on evident, the proven documents, we go back and what comes, I know what comes to, after showing this, after my students started thinking of, okay, what if we create something about Harappan civilization, ancient Harappan civilization? What if we try to create something about how, for example, say recreate Dandi March using a combination of, say, Gandhi's visuals. Of course, they are real visuals as well as created visuals in the scenes. Not Gandhi. You can't create Gandhi here. Yeah, that's not ethically correct. But what happened to other people? So those things are combination, but that is where the ethics comes in. The application of ethics comes into play. Now, let me show another story for this. See, this guy. Okay, I would highly recommend you to follow this guy, Dr. David Dunkley Gimre. He's a friend of mine, and he teaches visual storytelling in Cardiff University in the UK. And he experiments a lot. You can look this up in the on YouTube. Say, I don't want to actually waste time playing all of this. So this first film created with AI. I'll explain this later after this. Yeah, to cut a long story short, this was created by David. He's an amazing storyteller. You can follow his works on View magazine, VIEW View magazine, and yeah, he tells a lot of stories. His recent book is this stories. Let me tell you, just what the story is about. Why AI in this story? Because his story about his father. Okay, a guy who immigrated to Britain from Ghana in 1950s, and based on his photograph, because you cannot just go back in time and shoot what he did, but based on his old photographs, photographs, and what his written letters, they wrote a script, then mixed with say his image as well as what the society was like then. See here these were recreated with AI. And so the story is based on facts. See here, then London looked like this. And you cannot go back and shoot this, how London looked like in 1950, but it looked like this. So it created, and he is here when he colored. See here, the man is here. Okay. So the story is a combination, is the blend of actual shots and actually this could be perhaps the first non-fiction story in AI. This was created 3 years ago. Now he has created a new story called Empowered. I forgot to include that. You can actually look it up. Empowered. It's about a girl, an African girl, from Ghana or from Kenya, a girl who, against all odds, she comes from a very underprivileged background, and her dream was to become a fighter pilot. Now, how she attained that? So, using her photographs turned into videos. There are a lot of tools to do that. We'll get into tools later. And unfortunately, we don't have time to actually show you how the tools work, but it's pretty easy, all of this. So our point is, what do you use this? So something you can use ethically. The ethics comes in. somebody's talking. Yeah, I'll be sharing this with you, because I'm not going to actually, play all of this. Somebody has a question and it's not visible. Say, third example. Okay, another example is, see here. Yeah. Look at this example here. This example is all about, say, this is a story about, this is created by one of my students. About why not? So prompt is to create the stories about something happening in Wayanad. After how Wayanad became a tourist destination and how this landslides and other things. So you cannot go back and shoot. So the story is based on the real facts. Say, look at the prompt here. Begin with an aerial shot at dawn in Wayanad and morning mist. And this is where your skill set and your creativity comes in. So coffee, and look at the opening sequence here. And we created, what we did was my students, they created a lot of 10 to 20-second clips, then edited them together and told the story. This was the opening sequence of it. See here. And we created this sitting here in Bangalore. We didn't send a photographer there. We didn't send a videographer there. We didn't actually do anything. Even the music was created by AI generated. So this was the opening sequence. So here, what happened? This is Wayanad. So you can actually recreate the beauty of something on gone past and how this place is going to look like. Say, I'm just thinking of a futuristic scenario. Say, if the climate crisis hits us, say by 2030. You have statistics now, how much the Western Ghats, the forests are getting destroyed. So how this place is going to, so based on that, how this place is going to look like after 50 years. Will there be any trees? Will there be, so you cannot go forward in a time machine and shoot this after 50 years. I'm going to show you that example, a futuristic shot. Okay. So this is a prompt here, say an opening sequence, and say begin with an aerial shot. My student was very specific about this. Okay, now look at the shot now. See here, this is, now I just explained to you this. See how Harappa looked like. Create a visually cinematic video sequence of bustling Harappan town, 2500 BC. Okay, there's a fact-based case. So we read the story, we did a deep research about this, how this place looked like, and created this prompt based on that research. And look at this. This is how it looked like at that time. Here, I forgot to add the music here. So this will be, so a series of such sequences can be stitched together to create a visual experience. So this can be very, very handy when you apply, and this can be misused. I'm not denying the fact that this can be misused like any other thing, any other tool. It's just as good as the user. Okay, it's there is something I'll explain that later in your, if you have any question. So you can ask me on how this can be misused, how this is going to actually destroy everything, but as well as this can actually create a lot of new things as well. Okay, now we've got 15 more minutes here to go. See, this is a story about climate crisis, another futuristic thing. So at the rate of this and how the North Pole is going to look like. If the climate, if the temperature rises above 2 degrees centigrade, so that is after the industrial. So that's what we are trying to, in all the Paris agreement, all the countries in the world, we are trying to actually bring down the, the temperature below, to keep the temperature below 1.5 degree after temperature centigrade. So what will happen to the North Pole if this doesn't happen? So this will, what will happen? See here, how the snow is melting and melting ice caps, rising sea levels, extreme weather events. We utilize a creative editing technique, time-lapse sequence, aerial shots, and we just even suggested the shots for it. So imagine creating, this is created with a, Luma, another tool. Okay, we'll come to tools later. You can actually play with them. So it all depends on the prompt and your imagination. So when you prompt, the more imaginative you are, the better output you get. There is a computer terminology called GIGO, that is GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If you type in garbage, you will get only garbage as output. So it's a computer technology. It's about programming languages. So that is applicable, actually perfectly, aptly can be applied to artificial AI and generative AI. Your products, what you're going to create depends on what you want to do. What problem are you going to solve, and what gap you're going to fill? And is this, you just cannot use this just because you can. Okay. So knife, like I keep telling my students, a knife was not invented to kill people. It was invented to make our life easier by chopping vegetable, by chopping meat. But what if person A decides to use the same knife to kill person B? Who would you blame? Would you blame the knife or the person? The person, right? There is something called what we use. So there is something called user responsibility. There is any technology, any format, any platform. There is something we don't talk. We never talk about it. We just blame everything. You wake up in the morning with a bad migraine. Who do you blame? You blame Mark Zuckerberg. You blame social media. Ah, yeah, come on, screw social media. Because of that, I'm getting. We don't want to actually blame us, look at our own face and are we using this properly? Are we using this responsibly? There is something called responsible use of any technology, and AI is one of them. Okay, this can be very lethal in the wrong hands. Okay, like a knife in person A's hand. It can be used, it can be very helpful, but at the same time, it can be very lethal in another person's hand who decides to kill another person. So that's about visual story. Now, infographics. There is a tool, say infographics are storytelling, with say you create images, you create visuals with, so it takes a long time. Say I'm going to create something now with a tool called infographics. Say, for example, say I'm going to use this infography, say, yeah, this tool, infography. So I'm going to quickly say, I'm going to use, say, UC College, okay? Dr. George, I'm taking your permission, UC College website. Okay, I want to create something about UC College, ALUA UC College. Not now. Say a visual, say UC College. Yeah, Union Christian College, ALUA. So I want to quickly create something about an infographic about this. So all I'm going to do is just copy this URL, and I'm going to go to say there are a lot of tools, but this tool is I love using dedicated tool. This tool is only for creating infographics. Say I paste this and generate, and it will instantly in a second, a few minutes. My internet is playing up a little bit today. So it will create an infographic. It's just reading the website, okay, the mission and vision of ALUA UC College, and instantly it will create me with images and all. It will just create 30 seconds to generate. It will create me an infographic. And this can be, so imagine, say, it's another multimedia element. So this can be embedded in your text story. And say you are creating anything. Say, for example, you are writing a story about international, say, ALUA UC College. It's created 3 infographics. See here. Tell me, say download, you can say 3 or 4 templates. So imagine you're creating about this, for example, about this FDP, okay, this faculty development program. Within 1 second, you can just feed the information, say generate, and it's just created. See, it it took information from the website here. So anything, say within a few seconds, how long do you think you will, a graphic designer will take to create such a thing? So this is one thing, and it's use it very easy to, it made our life a lot easier. Okay, and it's challenging as well. Okay, this is one example of infography. So what we have done so far is text to text. We have done text to video, text to infographics now. Okay, URL to infographics. So since this topic is multimedia, we are going to be looking at a couple of more examples. Okay, so now this infographics. Okay, the tool is, you can just take down the tool's name. Okay, the tool's name is infography. Yeah, the tool's name is infography. Okay, you can infography.com. Okay, say infography. Here, here. URL, or you can create. See, it takes 6-7 templates is created for you. So that is infographics. Now, data. So data visualization is a huge thing. Say, for example, this I created, my students created when we are doing data storytelling techniques, they visualize compare job openings. We were just doing a story on job openings and for a psychology or economics graduate in India. So how, I'm sorry, I have a typo here. Very sorry about that. I should be uppercase. Sorry about that. Yeah. So how do you create that? So visualize this on, I use this tool in a separate, this tool for this, say Claude. Claude is pretty good for creating this kind of visual. See, I'm going to show you this, what we are creating, say, say comparing journalists, say multiple choice questions. So all we all say. I'm going to show this what I created. Okay, comparing journalism graduate programs in different parts of the world. So we got a comparative study of this. Okay. No, wait. SWOT analysis. So we just analyzed the SWOT analysis of Asian College ACJ, my former place, with Columbia. Okay, and we were just doing it for fun. You know, I did a workshop in ACJ recently. Say mastering. Mastering challenges, summarizing further. Yeah. Say we were doing a story about say tech companies. How do they fare? See how big tech companies buy market share. So we created this. Say one student did this research. So the main important thing is it saves a lot of time. See, we compared Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Apple, and their performance in the last 5 years. So rather than you researching all the data, we made Cloud to do the research, and we verified this data. Then see the comparison. See it just gave me this visualization. Look at the visualization here. Look at this visualization, how clever it is. So it compared, and it's an interactive thing. See, it compared the performance of 5 big companies. So data visualization is it's an engaging area. I don't know whether how many of you actually have done this, because I'm hugely very much into data storytelling, using numbers. So now this has become very handy for me. And not only this, not only preview this, what you can do is say, I'm going to do something, say, let me come down here. Say after creating this, what I do this, okay, I can actually grab the code here, look at the code, and copy this code, and I can embed the story in my blog, see from the code. So rather than creating a story data using other tools, we use a lot of, because say before these tools came handy, I've been using say 5 to 10 tools to create data visualization. Now I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do a manual research of all these companies' performance in the last 5 years. Just prompt this, create a graph, comparative performance to the market cap of Microsoft, and you get this, including the code. Okay, preview here. See, you get the preview, and it's an animated thing, it's interactive. See, when you hover over it, it's just showing the performance of the companies in the last 5 years, 2019 to 2024. So this is the beauty of it. So we just done now infographics to data visualization. Now we're going to look at something, before we wrap things up, just a couple of more examples. See how this is going to affect us. See, look at this. This was created by, see, now you can actually adjust the camera angles. So what we have done here is we just changed the camera angles. Now it's become so good. It's created with the Runway. Okay, these are all created with the Runway tool called Runway ML. Now look at the camera angle. How this is going to disrupt Hollywood. So I don't know how many of you are following the nominations for say the latest nomination, Oscar nominations. Okay, one of the things that is actually making rounds now is how they used for the the recent Golden Globe Awards, the movie which is called The Brutalist, and which is most probably The Brutalist is going to win the Best Actor, Best Movie, Best Director, Best Actress award in Oscar in the nominations. And they've used several AI tools to fill in because it's a story about Second World War. So you cannot go back and shoot certain things from, and what if things are not in the archives? How do you, so based on historically and proven research, you recreate certain scenes. And what they've done is they even recreated, it's a story, The Brutalist is a story about 2 survivors, a woman and a man from who escaped from Hungary. And when they speak English, the Brody, the actor, and the actors, they are American and one is British actor. And in order to make their sound, their English sound pretty Hungarian with an Hungarian accent. They trained a lot. 6 months they underwent training, but even then it was not perfect. So they used a little bit of AI to actually actually tone their language with add a little bit Hungarian accent to their English. And a lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people say, I don't have an answer for that. I think it's a bit too far, it's because it might win the best actor. So for this, imitating the Hungarian accent. Acting is all about, just becoming that character. What if you use AI to actually because voice is very important, right? So I don't agree with that, but Brutalist in that movie, they have used that. And a lot of Marvel movies, but I agree with that, when you try to create something. So for example, you're trying to recreate a Chernobyl accident, the nuclear accident. You're trying to create how certain places disappeared, how dinosaurs disappeared from this country, how Mars is going to look like when people settle there after, say, 20, 25 years. How it's going to look like, that's a futuristic vision. So there are now layouts and blueprints of how we are going to settle, build a colony in Mars. Okay, Elon Musk has a blueprint. So how that's going to look like, and how this is going to, so you can actually visualize, pre-visualize and post-visualize. You can actually visualize during the shoot also. So now you can even control the camera movements, like see here, you don't see now. This ad which came out a couple of months ago, you can actually look it up. Okay, how say, look at this an old, they recreated this, a very iconic old Coke advertisements. They recreated with this with generative AI, particularly runway.
Shining bright, tis the season, it's always Coca-Cola.
And this has actually gone viral, because no agency, no actors, no nothing. It's recreated old 1960 ad. It's a 1960 ad recreated. Okay, so again with generative AI. Now to sum up things, so I got only a couple of minutes before I take questions. So Gen AI is generally can do the heavy lifting for you. That is the most difficult, the mundane, the most boring part of it, which is brainstorming. So rather than getting, asking 10 people, asking questions and you coming up with your own idea, you can ask for 100 different ideas. Ideation, story structuring. I want this story to start with a climax, with a conflict. There is a thing called story structuring. That is like a hero's journey. You start with introduction of character, then it races to climax, then there is a problem, just a crisis, then it ends in a resolution of the crisis. So rather than what if you want a story, you want how the story is going to look like when you start with the crisis and going backwards. A lot of movie makers do that. And when I train filmmakers, it's very interesting, how they think. It's very different. I can also learn a lot. So generating headline, identifying trending topics, social media posts, it can actually use a social media language, the Gen Z language, the beta generation language, any language. So you and I'm not an expert in Gen Z language, but when I struggle to get something for even my social media posting, I use Gen AI to actually, I write something, then I ask it to suggest, turn that into just appealing to more engaging. So optimizing content for different audiences, target audience. Your target audience is under 18. So it can suggest you ideas for that. Did you notice something? We had never asked it to create, write something for us. We just created content, the visual content, only where it's not available. It's not humanly possible to go back in time to shoot something or go forward in time to get something from the future. Now, the tools, you can actually take a screenshot of it. It's Claude. These are the things I use for text generation. I use Leonardo and Imagine 3 for text to image. Midjourney is premium, and rest of the things are free here. Runway is actually not free anymore. Dream Machine, I would highly suggest Dream Machine and Mochi for video creation. Link is also good. And for creating hypernatural, for B-rolls, I create, say, hypernatural. So 2 examples I can actually share with you now. So audio tools, I use, say, 11 Labs. You can take a screenshot of it and I just explain. I unfortunately don't have time to show you. This can be a workshop. If I would have actually shown you how all these things work. So all about prompting, write the prompt and you will get the result. And you just keep just improvising your prompts, okay, iterating the prompts. So limitations, is this going to solve our problems, all our problems? No, this is not going to solve all our problems. It's difficult to program, proper narratives with a human emotional touch, emotional connector. That's where we come in, okay? And it needs human inputs. So AI needs, like or like I said, GIGO, that is GIGO, that is garbage in. If you put in garbage, it will give you only garbage. And don't blame AI for that. Okay, like you don't blame the knife for one person killing another person. Okay, you can't blame. Okay, you blame the person for that. And it can increase quantity, not necessarily quality. These are the limitations you should think about. And what is going to happen in future? So this quote is my favorite quote. Okay, Fei Fei Li, she's supposed to be the godmother of artificial intelligence. You know, she used to work for Google. She quit Google last year. Now she teaches in Stanford University. And it's not going to replace humans, but humans you use will replace humans that don't. It's we need a new literacy that's called AI literacy. And no matter whether you like it or not, this is already in. People are using it. You can't pretend that Google doesn't exist. You can't pretend that internet doesn't exist. You can't force people to go back in time. 40 years ago, I did something fantastic, but I can't teach my students, okay, you should be doing the same thing, which what I did 40 years ago. That's not, I don't think that's fair. That is actually criminal. As a teacher, that's criminal. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of more examples from Kerala, from, say, these two examples done by a friend of mine. So these stories, you can look up these stories on the internet. This story, this appeared on Madhubhumi TV. This completely created. Okay, only the shoot, okay, is done by manual. Okay, and the whole story structure, okay, in cinematic language, it was completely outlined and structured with ChatGPT. Okay, and they followed the exact thing in the shooting. So before they went to shoot this story, they had the structure in mind, and it suggested the drone shots, where you want the drone shots, the angle, the camera angle, the visuals, and to give the storyteller Shamir, a friend of mine, he wanted to have it's a drone shot to give a cinematic effect to a fiction, non-fiction story. And that's how this is created. You can actually look this up. Mallu audience and the audience, you can actually look this up. It's a fantastic story, one of the best stories I've seen created with, not, like I said, it's not, the content is not created. The visuals are not created with AI, but the structure, the outline, even the camera angles. And the storyteller, they improvised a lot on this. Okay. Now, the second story you see here, this is a very new story which is created by the same person, and it's about say a new thing, say it's a drone shot, and it's a fantastic story about a traditional tribal craft whereby these women, they create a particular type of beautiful earrings, and it's the story is told from the point of view of a person, a visitor there, and from the writer. I've forgotten the exact and sequence. And these are not created with AI. Don't get me wrong; they were not created. Okay, the visuals are not created with AI. The structure, the style, the tone, and the outline of the story, they are created by, and we humans wrote the script for this. So these are the perfect examples for visual story to how AI can be an aid. It's a co-pilot. It's like you're having an aid with you, an assistant with you, who doesn't sleep, who doesn't fall asleep, who doesn't ask for money, who doesn't actually get sick, or who doesn't take day off on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, and 24/7 at your beck and call. And how cool is that? How useful is that? Okay, and that is AI for me. Okay, and I think that is where we have to stop. And yeah, I can take questions now. People, you can ask me questions now. Where am I? Let me close this.
Participants, if you have any questions, you can ask or you can type in the chat box.
Yeah. People, questions, please. Nobody has any questions? What do we do now?
Hi, sir. Here is
Yeah,
my
please.
question.
Mhm.
Can AI can assist me to write a family history of my own?
It depends on, again, I told you that asking AI to write something or create something for you is like a family history of you. So for it, like what do you put in? So you had to put in a lot of content into that. See, it's like a genealogy, right? That's what you mean, right? Your genealogy.
Yes.
Your father, your grandfather, their grandfathers, and that. No, it's not going to do that because it doesn't have the data in that. So it's just, AI is all these tools, they are trained with the content available on the internet. Okay. Internet is only 30 years old. Okay. So if you ask it to find something that is, say 50 years ago, something happened in it, it's not going to be able to find it, but historical incidents it can. So because the Second World War was 45 years ago, but there must be something about the internet about the Second World War. But unless, say, for example, say a genealogy of Rahul Gandhi, it will be, I don't know how famous you are, how prominent a person you are. So if you give input, okay, my father lived here, my grandfather lived there, and my great grandfather lived there, and these were there, and it will just create something for you based on what the input.
Oh.
Correct?
Okay, sir.
So it's not going to guess it. It might, okay, you can actually ask for fun sake, you can actually say something like, you can just tell it to create some funny history of it, but that won't be factually correct. Okay, that won't be factually right. Yeah. Next person. Just think of creating something that is useful, that is going to actually solve a problem. Okay, so for example, this is Google, a lot of research is going on to how to create medicines. Say, for example, for cancer medicines, that is personalized treatment for cancer. And say you can feed it to, say, 30 million um, brain scans, and ask it to identify a pattern, how people are getting, say, some people are getting, dementia, how some people are likely to get all these diseases, and how you can fasten the process of create manufacturing of medicines, formulas for medicines. And it can do a hell of a lot. And it can also, the negative, I already explained, it's just a tool. Okay, always remember, this is not actually going to actually replace you. And it's all about, it's not never been about man versus machine. It's all about man with machine. Do you know something in BC 350, when Socrates was against writing, when the written words were invented, when the young scholars started presenting their arguments in written forms, he said, no, this is stupid. And Socrates was wrong. Imagine great Socrates was wrong because he wanted young scholars to present their argument, memorize everything. Okay, don't write anything and read it out from that. That was, and that what we, 10, 15 years ago, if you told somebody that we could have this kind of meeting, addressing 200 plus people from different parts of the world on WebEx or technology, people would have believed it, right? Who would have believed that you can hold a class on a Zoom class? Nobody would have. But now it's become a normal thing, right? This is normal. What we are doing is a normal thing now. There is no rocket science involved in this, right? Any other questions?
Sir, I have a question. If I love a fish called goldfish, is it possible to make a visual story about goldfish with a
Goldfish with the water? You just create. You can create. You tell a story. See, for example, how a goldfish gives birth. Okay, or you can story on how goldfish actually grows from a small fish to a big fish. And you can create a series of visuals. It will create visuals, then you stitch them together, edit them together on a normal editor, say Premiere Pro or um, Final Cut Pro, and Adobe Pro. You can actually create that. Adobe has integrated a lot of AI tools. Say, for example, you want certain things to be in the background, you want to remove certain persons. The most dangerous thing, so far as I'm concerned, is when you insert people in pictures, when you can insert normal phones, you can insert people, that pixel phones. You can actually remove somebody. You can take a photograph or something and you can insert yourself in that picture. And these are going to create a lot of deep fakes, and it can manipulate a lot of behavior, and that is going to be a threat. So in order to confront that, to overcome that, I think AI literacy is essential. You have to be, we all of us have to be literate about AI. So Goldfish story, it depends on your storyline, whether you want to create a fiction, non-fiction. What do you want to create? You got to be very specific. Okay, and you can't just use this just because you can. You got to justify the usage. Say, for example, say this climate crisis, what is going to happen when the temperature grows? You can't go forward in time and shoot it. So that justifies the usage of AI, Gen AI. Is that clear?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions, people?
So we have a comment from Ramya. Can we fully trust AI in getting suggestions or getting
No,
solutions?
you cannot. You cannot trust. It's like the first thing is you got to be always skeptical. Because that question rises from one thing, that is AI is, ChatGPT is not a fact-checking machine. And Sam Altman never said that it is a fact-checking thing. What it does is it predicts the next word and it just reasons. It creates from whatever is available to it. On the internet in the last 30 years, you cannot trust. Can you trust humans? Hello?
Yes.
Can you trust humans? Do you trust humans?
Not completely.
Yeah, you got to be skeptical all the time. It's like social media. Everything, whatever you see, everything you see is it's not real. So, I keep telling my students, even if when you're using social media, AI, you got to be skeptical. You got to be so skeptical to the point that even if your mom tells you, "I love you better," you got to tell her, "Hang on a second, let me verify." So clear? You cannot. So, for example, the question, probably I just expand this question. Say, what if you tell AI to create, say, the comparative performance of, say, 5 big tech companies in terms of market cap? So the question should have been, is Microsoft, made this much profit in 2019? How factual it is. It's your job. It's our job to test this, to verify this. Okay, because the moment you start just blindly trusting, it's like trusting human beings. That is my short answer. You cannot. Like I said, I'm not trying to evangelize the technology here. I'm just trying to leverage this technology to enhance storytelling to a point that I wouldn't even call this artificial intelligence. I would call it this augmented intelligence. It enhances me as a human and my storytelling skills. Okay, like a car helps me to get from point A to point B in 5 minutes, which if I walk, it might take me half an hour, more than half an hour. That is what AI for me is, augmented intelligence. A personal assistant, yeah. Anything else? I can't see any questions, so
Sir, can we conclude the session in case we don't
we can,
have any
yeah, you
queries?
can. If there are no more questions, you can actually, if you have any more questions, you can feel free to contact me. Dr. Shine, you can share my email, my phone number. If anybody has any questions, what to have a longer conversation about this, I'm more than happy to do this.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
No
On
worries.
behalf of all the participants, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude for your excellent presentation. The concepts you shared, particularly the real-world applications of generative AI in multimedia, have opened up new avenues of thought and exploration for us. Your insights on this field were valuable, and we now feel better equipped to integrate these advancements into our work and research. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Okay, have a nice night. Good night.
Yes, sir. Good night. As we come to the close of today's session, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to each one of you for your active participation and enthusiasm throughout the session. The knowledge shared during these sessions has undoubtedly broadened our perspectives and will have a lasting impact on both our teaching and research. Thanks to Dr. Partha Pradim Sahu and Professor Devdas Rajaram. Thanks to all the participants for your active participation. Please fill the feedback form for the session provided in chat box. Make sure you do this as it marks your attendance. Thank you.
കുട്ടികളുടെ കുട്ടികളുടെ
Participants, I repeat, the feedback form is provided in the chat box. Please ensure that you fill the same to mark your attendance. Thank you.
The meeting will be closed within 3 minutes. So all of you, please submit your feedbacks. Those who have submitted the feedback for both the sessions can leave the meeting.